Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and my post-game recap of the New York Knicks victory over the Washington Wizards. The Knicks beat them 106-102 in a crazy game. This has to be one of my favorite games so far this season, just because how we just clawed our way back and how we got performances from Barrett and Julius Randle in the clutch IQ. There's a lot to get into in this video, but before I do so, if you guys are new to Knicks Media, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you guys want to check me out over on Instagram and Twitter, you guys know where to find me at NYKnicks_media. And if you guys enjoy the video, please do not forget to thumbs it up. So let's jump right into this recap because there is a lot to get into. So let's start off with the Knicks in the first half and even the first three quarters, because they were getting out hustled, they were getting out muscled, they did not look like a good team. The Washington Wizards looked like they had something to prove. They did not want to lose to the Knicks on back-to-back nights and lose 3 games to the Knicks this season, and you can tell that they had a pep in their step, and a lot of players in the Washington Wizards were lighting it up. Hashimura hit a lot of shots. Bradley Beal started the game off hot, and then he cooled off and did really bad for the rest of the game because our defense locked him up. Russell Westbrook started off hot, but then he cooled off later on in the game. So the Wizards were in control of this game all the way through halftime, all the way into the third quarter, even into the fourth quarter. We came back from a 17-point deficit. We were down by as much as 11 points in the fourth quarter, and we did not lead this game once until the fourth quarter. And I think this is one of the most impressive games I've seen from Barrett so far. And if you look at the box score, you might be like, how? He shot extremely inefficiently. He was 7 of 22 from the field. But what I saw from Barrett is he just has that big man energy. I don't know if that makes sense, but that big dog, that like alpha male, that like, I am the leader of this team. I'm going to be the guy here, because the first half was really bad for Barrett. He was 2 of 13 in the first half. He could not buy a bucket. He was 0 for 4 from downtown. He was missing free throws, missing layups, and Barrett was disgruntled, and he had a really rough first half, as well as Julius Randle. Julius Randle started off 2 of 13 himself, and then nobody on the Knicks were hitting shots. We were like 1 of 13 as a team in the first half. But what I saw from Barrett was that ability to fight through adversity. In the second half, he went off. And the ability to get his teammates involved, that play where he dished it off to Taj Gibson and he had an and one, and his camaraderie with the guys. Barrett, as a 20-year-old, the youngest player on the team, is like, come on guys, let's go, like, we got this. Like, that's the leader. Like, Barrett was galvanizing the guys and fighting this team back and willing their way back to win it, and they actually came out on top. And Barrett hit really clutch buckets. He had an insane three-pointer, and then the next possession he had an and one all over Bradley Beal, and he flexes his muscles to tie the game. And Barrett showed me so much today, because like I said, the ability to fight through that adversity, to start off 2 of 13 from the field and then finish with 24 points, 5 assists, 10 rebounds, and 8 of 11 from the free throw line is really impressive for a 20-year-old, because a lot of guys that age will shy away from the big moment. He probably easily could have said at halftime, all right guys, tonight's not my night, so we're going to feed everybody else the rock. Don't give me the ball. He looked at the team and said, listen, we're going to get back into this game because of me. And it wasn't like he was being selfish and only trying to score the ball. In the second half, he was facilitating the rock. I don't think he had any assists at halftime, and he finished with 5 assists. He was feeding Taj Gibson the rock down low. He was kicking it out to shooters. In the first half, he was not passing the ball. The first half, we saw a completely different where he was missing open guys in the quarter. He was missing people down low. But in the second half, he was getting his teammates involved. He was crashing the boards. He was playing really good defense, and this game just really impressed me from Barrett in particular, because for a 20-year-old to be the leader that will really fought this team back into actually win is remarkable. So let's get into Julius Randle, because he had a very interesting game as well. He did not shoot the ball well by any means. 5 of 16 from the field, but he shows up in the clutch. He had 2 insane fadeaway mid-range jumpers with less than 2 minutes to go to really seal the victory. And Julius was battling with an injury because Elfrid Payton kneed him in the thigh, and it looked like he was battling with a bruised thigh. He was on the bike on the bench trying to get loose, trying to stay warm, and he was not out there for a ton of minutes. minutes. He finished with 36 minutes, which is a lot, but he was not on the floor as much as he usually is late in the fourth quarter. He checked in with like 6 minutes left because he was dealing with an injury, and while he was out, RJ Barrett was taking over of the team, which is so awesome to watch. But I love how Julius Randle did not have a good game. He only had 13 points, 9 boards, and 4 assists, but he shows up in the fourth quarter. That's the one thing that we always said about Julius Randle. We know how great he's been. He's our all-star. He's our guy, but he needs to really take that next step in the clutch moments, and that's exactly what he did tonight. 2 buckets, isolation. That's the type of all-star ability you need to have, is closing games. We need to be able to give it to our closer, and we have confidence. That's an all-star type of play. Just getting the ball, isolation, a minute and a half left in the game. I'm going to fade away out of bounds from the mid-range baseline jumper, and it's good. And he hit those back-to-back times. Awesome from Julius Randle. Alec Burks, very good game. I think this is 4th straight game with 20-plus points. Off the bench, he finished with 27 points, 6 boards, 8 of 18 from the field, 2 of 7 from downtown, 9 of 11 from the free throw line, a plus-minus of a plus 17, which is very interesting because we were getting blown out the entire game. So whenever Alec Burks was on the floor, we were playing well. So Alec Burks had one of the best games on the Knicks as well. I mean, his offense off the bench was so well needed. He showed up in the clutch as well, hitting very big buckets late in the fourth quarter. That three-pointer, the and one mid-range jump shot. He is showing up time in and time out, and I'm telling you, Alec Burks' value on this team is way more than we can even imagine. We need that offense off the bench because our offense was so ice cold all game. Nobody was looking good during the entire first 3 quarters, to be honest. And then he comes in and just takes over offensively, and that's so huge for this Knicks team to have a guy like Alec Burks off the bench. Another great game from Emmanuel Quickley off the bench. He finished with 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 of 13 from the field, 2 of 5 from downtown, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Emmanuel Quickley had a very clutch bucket of his own in the third quarter. It was awesome to see Emmanuel Quickley actually get minutes to close the game. Elfrid Payton did not finish the game off because he struggled today, 3 of 8 with 8 points. And I like how Thibodeau understood that whenever Elfrid Payton's on the floor, the Knicks don't do that well because Elfrid Payton had a plus-minus of a minus 15, and Emmanuel Quickley had a plus-minus of a plus 14. So that tells you the difference when IQ is on the floor and when Elfrid Payton's on the floor. Payton, a minus 14. Quickley, a plus 14. So luckily Thibodeau understood that, and he gave IQ the closing minutes because he was getting to the lane, hitting those floaters. He was getting fouled, going to the free throw line, hitting his free throws, hitting clutch buckets from beyond the arc, and that's such a big part of this team as well, having Emmanuel Quickley. I feel like having IQ and Alec Burks coming off the bench to be that offensive spark is so huge for this team. Another great person who had a good game is Taj Gibson off the bench. He had 26 minutes, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 block shots, 1 steal, 4 of 6 from the free throw line, and a plus-minus of a plus 18. Everybody on the bench had a plus-minus, which is very intriguing because that really willed us back to win this game. RJ Barrett finished the game off with the entire bench with Taj Gibson, Emmanuel Quickley, Alec Burks, and Julius Randle RJ. That was the final 5. We did not get the starting 5 to finish off the game. The starting 5 was a really unique one today, actually. It was Elfrid Payton, Frank, Julius, RJ, and Mitch, but we finished the game off with Emmanuel Quickley, Alec Burks, RJ Barrett, Julius, and Taj Gibson, and that was a very smart move. That you got to give Tom Thibodeau a lot of credit because that's called in-game adjustments to really see who's playing well, what rotations are going to be playing well together. He's not just going to stick to his typical rotations. He's going to scan what's going on in the game and adjust, and that's exactly what he did, and you got to give Thibodeau a ton of credit for tonight's win because the game plan going in to shut down Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook is super underrated as well. We contained them like crazy. Bradley Beal started the game off 3 of 3, and he finished like 6 of 19 or something crazy like that. Russell Westbrook, I think, was 3 of 13 maybe. I don't know the exact numbers here. I got it right here, actually. Bradley Beal, 8 of 23. Russell Westbrook, 3 of 15. That's just masterful defense. We know that those 2 guys are the only really guys we have to worry about on the Wizards, even though Hashimura stepped up tonight, and that guy Matthews is a pest, bro. That guy Matthews was very impressive to me tonight. But listen, I love the in-game adjustments from Tom Thibodeau, and I love the defensive game plan. This was a very awesome win from the New York Knicks for many reasons, and whether that's them to show their resiliency, to fight back. We're going up against a team that we just blew out 2 days ago, and they come out and just completely are dominating us for the first 3 quarters. But I always had a feeling in the back of my head, this Knicks team is going to come back. Like, I know it. I have a feeling, but I definitely was losing hope going into the fourth because time is running out. But then RJ Barrett, man, his ability to just galvanize the guys around him and show up in the clutch moments, facilitate the rock, crash the boards, play defense, hit really timely clutch hoops and ones, hitting his free throws, showing up in the clutch. It's just, I did not expect it from RJ. I thought, honestly, when I saw RJ's first half, I'm like, okay, this is an off night from RJ. We'll see what he can do in the second half. Let's hope he can bounce back. Did not expect him to bounce back like this and finish with 24 points. That's all I got to say. But listen, guys, this was an awesome win. I want you guys to comment down below your thoughts of the win because we should all be jumping for joy. We are above 500. We are 23-22. And let's see where we're at in the standings real quick. We are the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. So it's going to be a very tight race between 4 and 10. And it's so close. So our next game is against the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's see what we can do against them. We blew them out once. They blew out us. Let's see what happens in game 3 of the little series of the season. So that does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys stay tuned until the end, comment down below a Statue of Liberty emoji and comment your thoughts of the game because this was a wild one. Let's go Knicks. Go New York, go New York, go. Peace out, guys.